High performance habits. How extraordinary people become that way. By Brendan Burchard. Chapter number 1. Seek clarity. Have you ever wondered what it is that makes the difference between an achiever and a loser? Achievers are in fact the result of the burning heat which they opt to afford from their sufferings, unlike rest of the people who do not let them be heated to achieve the purity of performance. They never give up even if they lose the armory of personality, purpose, confidence, and motivation, which are the essentials for achieving any of their goals. They consider each failure to be a step ahead, leading them to their target. For, after experiencing failure, they do not lose hope. They rather get back more enthusiastically to find where they went wrong. In order to bounce back even higher, they use the force they were hit down with while experiencing the failure. Do you know what an achiever gets back to in such a discouraging situation? Guess it, supposing if you were put in the context what you would do. Seeking what? Clarity? Did you say that? If you thought of it, you appear to be one of those achievers, I must say. It is the primary habit of achievers to seek clarity. They do not let complexities turn their minds blank and directionless. Instead, they opt to face the burning to find the things illuminated. This clarity is about their being, their purpose, their approach, and even the possible consequences they may have with the approach they adopt. In other words, they know what they do. They are well aware of their way as well as where it leads. They are aware of their strengths and weaknesses, and know how to convert their weakness into strengths and utilize them effectively. Furthermore, they have a clear concept of what they want and what it takes to acquire it. Achievers keep balance between personal and social life. Their intentions are clear to utilize their skills for the sake of service tomorrow. Chapter number 2. Generate energy. Have you ever come across any successful person without a history of sufferings he experienced? Tough times cease to be before the invincible attitudes that the high performers adopt. Do you know what they require to stand still in the storms and the rough weather of their conditions? Generating energy. Yes, the high performers get into the habit of generating energy of their own. They usually use their sufferings and hardships as a fuel for serving this purpose of theirs. They free themselves from the chains of negativity or any such shortcomings which may cause negativity. The high performers learn to excel the art of converting the stress and tension of the situations into positive energy. They do not get deviated from their goal by any means, whether emotional or physical. One of their qualities worth acknowledging is the way they control their nerves even through the most disturbing phases of their life. The energy that the high performers generate does not confine to their mind only. The physical well-being is as essential for them as keeping themselves mentally stable. They do not compromise on their fitness when it is about rest, nutrition, or exercise basically. They are not confused about the things they do to generate their energy. The high achievers are sure about their activities and the results they do produce. In other words, the people belonging to the category are committed to their goals. They are determined to face any hurdles and hardships that they encounter in their way to success. You need to adopt the ways which help in generating energy in both mental and physical context. All you are supposed to do is to be clear and determined about the things you decide and act as per your ability to acquire energy. Once you are on it, you will start experiencing the feeling of energy in various forms, such as joy, confidence, focus, determination, and satisfaction. Chapter number 3. Raise necessity. Getting exposed to variety is such a fun, isn't it? It is so because our exposure to variety adds to our list of choice. The more choices we have, the easier and comfortable our life turns to be. What if, one day you start doing the things which may not seem necessary apparently? You may find the idea senseless. But, the high performers think otherwise. What do they find sensible in doing the things without any urge? Actually, the high performers have it in common to be driven by the element of performance necessity. To put it in simplest form, they raise necessity in order to perform the valuable tasks which may go unnoticed otherwise. High performers do not leave themselves any choices or options. It does not mean that they shun exposure and are left with the least of variety. Actually, they adopt the attitude of go on for doing different things which develop different aspects of their personality. In other words, they erase the option of denial for performing any activity. They do so by being compelled with the necessity which they raise to be forced to act. The necessity urges the high performers to develop themselves internally as well as externally. The internal forces nourish them by making them achieve the excellence in and obsession for the activities they are involved in, while the external forces of necessity demand them to perform their social duties and serving for a better cause. The high performers raise urgencies in the form of deadlines, so as to stay alert and focused to their work. Unlike most of the people in general, they like the challenges of being driven by the necessity even when they come unwanted. Contrary to that, they deliberately raise the necessity of being driven to work regardless of leaving any other choice to opt for. This helps them achieve the higher level of potential with the help of which they can work anywhere, anytime and in under any circumstances. Safe zones are not for the achievers. They do not ever fear from experience any situation. The achievers welcome the conditions as they turn to them. Even they are waiting for the challenges to encounter and increase their experience. Chapter number 4. Increase productivity. We spend most of our time involved in one or the other activity. The activities we are busy with might be our personally selected ones or those imposed upon us. In either of the cases, there is a small ratio of the people whose focus is more on gaining something than merely keeping themselves busy with it. Another essential habit of the achievers is their tendency towards increasing productivity in every sense possible. Any work for them is more than just passing time over. They have the habit of turning their time spent into something worthy and valuable. To achieve this, they strengthen their focus and energy. The clearer and least distracted you are, the higher the chances become for achieving the desirable results. Their sincere efforts yield them fruitful results which most of us fail to get. In fact, consciousness is the divided line which makes the difference between the achievers and the rest of the people. All people are busy doing work, but they are not consciously in it to learn something fruitful. It does require conscious involvement in order to make the things produce potentially better results. Focus and concentration cannot be maintained for long without putting a mindful attempt to do so. The achievers are aware of what it requires to enhance the level of productivity. They also know how to achieve it. For example, their target is not the hours spent doing something. Instead, they are more inclined towards the quality of the time spent with active mind than mere quantity. They also know how to get the desired outcomes instead of the unwanted outcomes in a larger quantity. In other words, achievers' concern is with the quality of time and results produced. Numbers do not attract them enough to be bothered by. According to the achievers, the field of your interest can bring you far more than you can imagine. If you want to be the one, choose an activity. Determine the level skills you want to develop through that activity. Get thoroughly involved in it once you are done with evaluating every single factor. Feel confident developing your skills. Share the experience with others to spread the wave of motivation. Chapter number 5. Develop influence. Have you ever bothered yourself to question how influential you are? It is important that we know ourselves well enough, before we start expecting from the world to be treated in a certain way. In fact, people's behavior towards us is the reflection of how we have built and maintained ourselves. Suppose you direly need your friends to invest in a project of yours. Their response to your offer and the importance of the project for you may have a single condition for its approval: trust. If you have developed good influence over the passage of time spent with your friends, they will be willing to come forward believing in you. Otherwise, even if your project may sound awesome, they will think twice before rejecting it. The supposed situation clearly indicates that lack of influence leads to encounter unwanted attitudes of people frequently. On the other hand, if you develop influence, you can achieve the desired results in almost every respect. People tend to listen to you. They confidently consider you reliable. You can get them respond to your words with their belief in you. One of the primary elements involved in developing influence is give and take. This sort of mutual sharing of respect, acknowledgement, and understanding is the basic core of influence. Apart from that, influence comes with humble attitude. You need to ask people. Ask about anything. It gives you an opportunity to build the basic core of give and take. Do not hesitate in appreciating the efforts of others. Identify their work, acknowledge it, and make them feel important individually. Do not fail to call them by their names while approving their efforts. High performers spread their contagious positivity in their surroundings by creating the resourceful situations for others to develop through. Firstly, their character echoes with the positive attributes of patience, control, integrity, determination, persistence, and like. Secondly, they are well connected with their relationships and the people around. They are best at performing their duties and responsibilities in all spheres of life. Thirdly, the high performers never run short of energy and determination in contributing. They contribute generously whether it is at work or beyond. This is their habit of staying a step ahead. In other words, such people are inclined a little towards paving ways for those who may not be able to make their ways. Or you can say, they tend to be role models by leaving their footmarks for others to lead to achieve their goals. Chapter number 6. Demonstrate courage. If you have ever happened to meet an achiever who has all other qualities except courage, who may have to think for many times before acting. In fact, all the 6 habits of high performers are interlinked and overlapping. Be it clarity of mind or energy to generate positivity, over even grip over raising necessity, increasing productivity, and developing influence. If you fail to demonstrate courage, you may not accomplish your targets despite following these habits. Even in order to bring clarity, positivity, or productivity, you unconditionally required courage. For it takes courage to stand still and determined even in the tough times. High achievers pass through numerous challenges before they achieve their targets. If they lack in demonstrating courage, they will deviate from their goal. Rather, they step forward and face the conditions in order to turn them in their favor. Along with that, the high-performing achievers are assertive, confident, and ready to respond to the critical conditions without any delay. Being humans, they may not be rightly called fearless. Instead, the better term for their being able to stand the things which many others afford can be courageous. They are courageous enough to face the frightening realities fearlessly. They know how to deal with the tough situations while keeping their nerves calm. They do not hesitate in taking risks. Risks are rather a sort of fuel for their courage to develop even more. The courage of high performers does not confine to certain specific directions. Their courage indicates moral, psychological, and physical aspects of their strength. Courageous people are always leading the rest in fighting for others' rights and raising their voice against evil. They do not miss an opportunity of demonstrating courage for the good cause. High performers are courageous because they are exposed to the challenging conditions. They eliminate their element of fear by facing these challenging conditions. Every hardship or a series of sufferings is an opportunity compelling you to be an achiever. It is your attitude that you adopt in response to such critical situations that leads you to be one. Panicking in such conditions will not result in anything except dropping your confidence. But, if you accept the bittermost realities as the part of life, face them as the only choice possible, and adopt a conscious effort, then you can turn those hardships into a resourceful source for turning you into an achiever. Chapter number 7. Beware 3 Traps. Achievers are not just the result of what qualities they hold apparently. They also have to avoid certain elements which may spoil all their learning experience of years-long sufferings. It is the approach that you adopt to achieve the highest goals you desire for. Similarly, it simply does not take more than a sort of attitude to cause your downfall for sure. What are those elements which need to be avoided in order to maintain and celebrate the achievements? There are 3 traps which must be carved in one's mind along the 6 habits of high performers. These include 1. Superiority, 2. Dissatisfaction, 3. Neglect. First of all, you need to adopt humble approach to maintain your status. Achievers are not conceited for achieving more than others. The very concept of achievements makes them feel humble and honored. Secondly, remember that achievers are always grateful for their success. They develop this trend by learning to be contented even in the times of suffering and deprivation. Thirdly, they do not let their focus off their achievements once they get there. They rather consider their achievements to be certain milestones leading them further. In fact, achievers do not forget the rough routes which lead them to their success. They do know the value of their long-lasting struggles. It is not the achievements only that make you an achiever. It is more about the attitude and the art of living. In order to be a true achiever in real sense, you will have to suffer it, accept it, face it, win it, and finally maintain it for further advancements. Chapter number 8. The number 1 thing. What's the essential element which needs to be a part of your being in order to take initiative, achieve, and maintain your desired destination? It is confidence. Confidence is the prerequisite even for thinking of achieving the higher goals. Confidence proves helpful in maintaining one's influence, courage, energy, productivity, and clarity. To access the level of confidence required for highest goals, all high performers have 3 things in common. These are the 3 C's of confidence. 1. Competence. It raises your level of expertising any task or field. Until you build the knowledge, skills, ability, and talent in that particular area, you may find it hard to acquire the level of confidence required. 2. Congruence. It is actually keeping balance between your practice and what you preach. You need to take the authority of your life, and be truthful to yourself. 3. Connecting. In order to learn and develop our skills, we can better do it through sharing our ideas with others around the world. It does not confine us to any conditions of medium, especially in the era of internet. To cut it short, confidence is the primary condition for achieving any target. Competence, congruence, and connection are elements which can help in building confidence. What we learned. What was the core message that we got from this book? When achievers struggle, they do not quit or crash but keep on marching towards their goals. Finding clarity in life is all related to thinking about tomorrow and staying connected with what matters at present. High achievers are clear of who they are, what they want in their life, how to get it, and what they find fulfilling and meaningful. One of the best ways to increase your energy is to master transitions. To become a high performer, you need to bring joy to your life by creating positive emotional ripples that also impact other areas of your life. Exercise improves your memory and helps perform day-to-day tasks in a better way. Obsession is not an unhealthy state of mind. It is just pure love for what you do. You just enjoy and want to learn more about it. High performance is not solely tied to your culture or the environment, but your beliefs and strategy. To increase your productivity level, set goals and maintain focus and energy.